Hi guys. Obviously I've been quite quiet, haven't I, on my socials. I've been wanting to do this video, but I've just kind of been putting it off, but I wanted to because it's going to become quite a big part of my channel. My husband is really happy that I'm doing it and things like that, so. But I'm assuming most of you that are watching this probably know that my husband passed away a couple of days ago at the grand old age of 58. I'm in utter disbelief still. He was diagnosed with, so if you haven't seen, the 4x4 video was the last video that I did with my husband, and if you've watched it, you can see how he was. And the next day, he was in agony. He said that he felt like he was having a heart attack, so I rushed him to A&E, and they did some tests and saw that his liver was playing up, so they thought that it was gallstones, and they did an ultrasound, and the ultrasound came back that the gallbladder looked like there was a problem with it, and there was fluid around the area or something, and there was a mass on his liver. So they did a CT scan, and I had to come home to like sort out the horses, and the doctor wouldn't see my husband without me, so obviously I was a bit concerned. And then he sat us down and he said, "Your gallbladder is fine." He said, "There is a thickening of the inner wall." He said, "But your gallbladder is fine. There's no gallstones." He said, "But we found a lesion on your pancreas and we found a lesion on your liver." So obviously we didn't really fully understand what that meant at that time, but we knew that it was probably not good, but didn't realise just how bad it was. So we came home, and then he started to go yellow. And I managed to force him back to hospital, and the pancreas tumour was pushing on his bile duct, which was actually stopping his liver from getting rid of a waste product called bilirubin, which is what our cells create, and the liver flushes it out. So they admitted him. He had a stent put in. It didn't work. Then they put stents in his liver because they said that there was blockages in his liver as well. It didn't work. Then they put a liver drain in. So he had an external drain to try and get his jaundice under control. It did work, but a nurse dislodged it, so it needed to be replaced. But it didn't work well enough, and we only managed to, so your bilirubin levels should be between 0 and 25. My husband's went to 370 and managed to get it down to 70. I think 70 was the lowest it ever went. And then he couldn't eat, and the tumour was pushing on the tube that comes out of the stomach, so he had to have a stent put in there. It was very traumatic, and he was just very, very, very poorly. I went from a wife to a carer pretty much overnight, which was quite difficult to get my head around, considering we'd done that 4x4 stuff the day before. He was taken in, but he did have a biopsy and it did come back as pancreatic cancer. But it was metastatic pancreatic cancer, and they didn't tell us just how bad the cancer was on his liver. And the liver was, the cancer was just consuming his liver. So he was basically in liver failure. And they managed to stabilise him a little bit, but he ended up with a Citrobacter infection as well. He also had 2 embolisms, one near his spleen and one in the portal vein of his liver. But then he managed to come home, and he was home for about a month, but he was very, very, very poorly. And he was just deteriorating, and I could tell that we were getting close. And I don't really want to go into details, but I was there when he died, and I never want to see anything like that again. But he wanted me there, so I was. And I feel like I've lost a big part of me. The house doesn't feel like my house anymore, because my home was Dave. And I just can't get my head around how he can be okay one minute and not the next, and then 3 months be gone. So I'm still just trying to get my head around it. I've still not done his funeral yet, but it's organised. So that's going to be a difficult one to have to try and do. But he was 58 years old. And it was advanced metastatic pancreatic adenocarcinoma, which is 95% of pancreatic cancers, and they're extremely aggressive. And I'm a biologist, and I underestimated just how aggressive this cancer is and just how fast-paced this cancer is. I saw all of his latest blood results, and it looked like they were querying bone cancer. So it looked like it had moved to his bones, and it looked like he was in kidney failure and liver failure. So I knew that his death was coming, and he fought right to the end. But yeah, I still can't process it. And I can't accept that I'm a widow, but I am. So I've just got to try my best to get on with things. I'm not really wanting to do anything or go anywhere, but I do have some plans to do some things, just to get back into a bit of a routine. But for anybody who is actually had a diagnosis of pancreatic cancer or knows anybody, I'm so sorry for what you're going through. For anybody that's just interested in the symptoms, please be an advocate for your own health, because my husband did have symptoms and he ignored them, and he paid the price for them. He paid the price with his life. So he had persistent indigestion, and he had that for quite a long time. And then he also had a change in his stools. So if your stools are light, or light in colour, or they float, or they are very foul, that is not right. and it's important to get checked. And then another symptom was pre-diabetes. So it's important to make sure that you don't allow a GP to just tell you that it's old age or that you're just growing older. If you eat well and you exercise and you're slim, make sure to question it. Don't just accept it. And then the last one, the last one before things went out of control, it was tummy pain. So he started to get really bad tummy pain and it was stopping him from eating. And the doctor said it was diverticulitis. Don't allow that either. Not without a blood test. And then the very, very, very last symptom was jaundice. But if you go jaundiced with pancreatic cancer, you're probably too late. And people go downhill very, very quickly. But I just can't believe where I am right now. We should be in America right now. I was so excited for that trip. It was going to be such an awesome trip. And instead I got to watch my husband die and become a widow. But it just goes to show that you've really got to appreciate life and focus on the things that you want to do. And just go for things that you want to do. And just don't hang around or get hung up on things that really don't matter. But yeah, I've just got to try and get on with life now. But thank you to everybody who has been supportive and who has given me messages and things like that. It's been extremely, extremely helpful. Really has. Some of you guys have been my absolute backbone while I've been going through this hell, because it has been hell. But I'm gonna go and have a cry now. But I am gonna use this channel to try and help spread awareness for pancreatic cancer. So I'm going to try and keep my husband's legacy alive and just try and make a difference. And then just try and do as much as I can. And hopefully you guys will come along with me and cheer me along, because it's going to be quite scary on my own. But yeah, I'm definitely going to go and have a cry now. Bye.